decisions so that we make the best decisions for our community. Instill in us wisdom and sensibility, see the needs of our citizens, such that our time here tonight offers long-range solutions to the many challenges ahead of us. Lord, we also ask you to watch over our men and women who are presently being deployed to areas that are threatened with instability. We ask that your spirit inspires our world leaders to seek peace rather than war, to negotiate rather than react, and to settle conflict peacefully rather than resort to violence. We ask this in your holy name. Amen.
Amen.
I pledge
Allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you. Okay, I'm going to call this public hearing, fiscal year 25, will be fiscal year 24-25, to order. And I'll make a few comments on the procedure tonight. Please feel free to sign in. And when at that point, I'll pick up that paper. And you have 3 minutes. Hillary has the clock, and we welcome your comments. The topic needs to stay within what we're here for, and that's the approval of the budget. Jonathan, you want to give kind of a summary of this?
I can. I don't know if everybody picked it up or not, but I printed out some.
We need a motion to open the public hearing.
Oh, I'm sorry.
So moved.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Thank you, Hillary.
So just some highlights for this fiscal budget year. Property taxes will remain the same. There's no increase in property taxes. Sales tax, we projected a 7% increase. ABC revenue, we expected it will remain steady. Utility and franchise tax, we projected to stay steady. The state fire revenue, we increased by $36,000. We got grant money to purchase air packs. In the enterprise fund, we expect to expend $600,000 of ARP money that we will be reimbursed for to fix the ongoing water project on Chestnut Ridge and Edgecliff. We've added additional water tiers to the water cells, and our PAL bill allocation increased by 10. We don't have any big paving project planned. We're going to patch and gravel. We're replacing water line on Chestnut Ridge. We're replacing the 11-year-old police car. We're buying a new public works vehicle with a plow. Employee cost of living raises were 6%. Parks and Rec and a public works position are fully funded by TDA, and we reduced our debt load by $127,325 on town hall and $30,912 on the loan for snowplow.
Jonathan, a couple of comments on that I have on expenditures. Powell bill grants us how many dollars a year because of the mileage of our.
This year it'd be $36,000.
So we're going to spend $10,000 of that, but we don't have to spend that in the year. We can accumulate that.
We can save, and what we're planning on doing is once the water projects are completed, save up to pave the gravel roads in town. So we're just going to do repair work this year, and we're going to put the other 26 into savings. All Powell bill money has to be spent on streets. You can't spend it on anything else, but you can carry it over into different fiscal years to pay for bigger projects.
And the water line replacement project that's American Rescue Plan money. That was originally $700,000.
Yes, we received a grant through the federal government, and it was given out through the state budget process. We received $700,000. We've already spent a little over $100,000 this fiscal year, and we still have the other $600,000 to spend next fiscal year. We've submitted our first reimbursement form. It'll take about 2 months before we see that, And then we should get a reimbursement form, or reimbursement check every month for our expenditures on water project.
And speaking with Kevin Aldridge today, he mentioned that they have conducted a pressure test on the line itself, successfully.
Yes, and they're putting in fire hydrants along the entire line, and they put in a pressure reducing valve as well.
And they'll start hooking up consumers to that.
Once the entire project is completed,
Okay.
they will install new water taps for potential homes in the future, just so that we don't have to dig up the pavement after we do it. So they'll go ahead and put the taps in now, but they won't hook up to any customers that are affected until the entire line is complete.
The other item, the public works vehicle with the plow, is that a TDA funded?
That's not, the dump truck is the TDA.
The dump truck is.
And this is one of the plow trucks.
Okay. And finally, the last thing, the snowplow loan, that loan is paid up this year?
We have the July payment and then about $100 in an August payment, and that loan will be completely gone.
And how much is that a month? Do you have an idea, roughly?
Whatever, 30,900 divided by 12.
Divided by what?
12.
Oh, okay. Okay. So that'll go away after that.
Yeah, we have $5,000 total left.
Okay. Any questions and comments from other council members on items? Okay, if you turn the page, we'll have an annual operating budget ordinance. And basically, this is a snapshot summary of the total budget between the general fund and the enterprise fund is $3,911,299. Now, again, this number is affected by the $600,000.
We actually have 700 in there because we will get our reimbursement checks after July 1st. So, yes, we do have 700,000 in ARP funding through grants. We have 36,000 in government grants for the fire department. We have $250,000 in part grant. So, you're looking at 1.2 million of that is grant funding.
Okay, now that's been a touchy issue because there's been some confusion in the past. Whereas people who read the revenue summary and they compared it to previous years, they said, my gosh, you're getting all this extra money. How come? How come it's up? And it's not, it's money that's directed specifically for projects that we have to spend it on. And it's one of those pay first and get reimbursed type.
So it has to be reflected in the revenue side and the expenditure side so that we can spend the money to be reimbursed. And that's why it looks like it's inflated over previous years, but we'll take all the money we can get. We're asking for a lot.
Are there any questions about, for the fees, fee structure that we decided upon?
And would you like me to explain what the budget ordinance is for people who may not be familiar?
Yeah.
Okay, so the budget ordinance is our document that controls our spending for the year. If you want to read the entire document, it shows how the money comes in, where it goes, what can be changed in there. We can always amend this if we have unexpected revenues or unexpected expenditures. We will do a final budget amendment to close out fiscal year 24 at a later date this month. And it just gives you the rules and operating procedures of the town of Seven Devils. It tells you how much construction permits are. It talks about water billing, water accounts, sign permits, zoning permits, code violations, fire inspections, those on businesses, not on private homes. We do fire inspections on private homes for free. You don't have to pay the fire inspection fee on that. So the fire inspection fee is for the businesses that are in town. So, and so our spending plan for the entire year.
It's all available on our website. One thing I want to talk about is this is very unusual. We are required to post in a public journal, newspaper, 30 days in advance.
Not, 10 to 25 days.
10 to 25 days that we're going to have this public hearing. Unfortunately, there was a glitch with the Watauga Democrat, and also they published the Avery Journal, where they couldn't do this. And not only for us, they couldn't do this for
Any of the towns in Avery or Watauga County.
yeah. So we're all having to have an extra extension, and we will have another meeting, public hearing meeting to wind all this up on June 28th at 10 o'clock.
We'll agree on that after public comment.
Okay. But that's the gist of what
Yes,
we're
so,
headed. So it's a kind of different than our regular.
so there will be no vote tonight on the budget ordinance. Hopefully tomorrow we'll have it posted in the newspaper, and then we have to wait at least 10 days after it is published to finish the public hearing and vote on the budget ordinance. So there will be no vote tonight on the budget ordinance. And we will reconvene at a time and date later to comply with the publication statute.
Okay, at this time, can I get that sheet of paper, please? Mhm.
They can, it just won't be read here. But we do have an outlet for them to make comments, public comments.
The question is, for everybody's benefit, from online, yes or no, can you have someone read your public comment? And that's not, you need to be here to make a public comment. And that's how it works.
For it to be discussed here, but we do have an avenue, if you're unable to make it, to submit comments that the council can read. They just won't be read in open session. They'll be sent privately to the town council so that they can hear the input, but we won't read every letter that we get.
Okay, Sunny Hand, if you care to make your comment? Thank you.
So as me,
If you'll just state your name and your address.
okay, I'm Sunny Hand, 160 Snowcloud Drive, Circle, actually. So anyhow, thank you for revisiting the water tier structure following Mr. Harris's consultation with the University of North Carolina School of Government. Upon review of the proposed changes, we ask for further consideration to the addition of tiers at the lower levels with breaks at 1,000 gallon increments, a common practice in North Carolina communities. This would require a delay in approval of the proposed schedule for the 2024-25 fiscal year and allow time for public comments and input on the topic. In Seven Devils, the current tiers are out of alignment with North Carolina communities, and the proposed budget does not address this. Proposed changes in the rates are $100 per 1,000 gallons at the 10,000 gallon tier, rising to $200 per 1,000 gallons at the 15,000 gallon tier. Did the increase in rates in the current fiscal year prove to encourage conservation? Did it help? Is there evidence that raising rates will result in less usage? Transparency and open communication regarding all aspects of government are desirable in every town and city in our country. The unique characteristics of Seven Devils are assets, providing opportunities for us to be a model for other North Carolina communities and continue to keep our population informed in ways such as sharing data used to formulate the water tier structure and costs to provide services. Mr. Harris has met with us regarding water costs and has been generous with his time. However, all property owners and prospective buyers would benefit from a clear breakdown, the how and why, especially given the most recent proposed.
Thank you. Thank you. Anyone else? Just in generalities, because we're meeting, again, with the School of Government on Thursday, right? And they're going to take a look at our tier structure. I won't beat around the bush. This is done for conservation reasons. And since COVID, our water increase has gone from 9 million gallons to 14 million gallons. There's a lot of reasons for that. One of the biggest reasons, I believe, that affect it is a lack of awareness of how much water costs, especially as it relates to rental properties. We have indications that there are certain properties that use 2,000, 2,100 gallons in one day. And that's just not fair, because that's the most precious resource we have. And not only that, is that they're the only people that can recoup that, the cost of that, but it's still not, we're not designed for that. Let me say it real clearly is that if everyone used 6,000, 7,000 gallons of water, that of all of our users, we don't have enough water for that. I mean, it's a mathematical, it's just impossible to do that. So the high rates are there for a reason, and it's a conservation reason.
Did it make a difference in conservation?
Yes, it did. Yeah. There's a number of our high users that are lower now. It hasn't disappeared, but they're lower. Yeah. Yeah. But we're going to be interested to hear what the school has, and we'll have more information on that. There have been suggestions to me to raise the minimum from 3,000 to 4,000 and leave that as the price. And we can do that. But first, let's discuss this with the League of Municipalities and School Government, and we'll have something concrete. But that's the reasoning behind these tiers. I've talked to a lot of people with children, families of 4 and 5. We've looked at the usage rates, and it's just some homes, and you can identify them because they're the only use we have. If we meter, the meters tell us when water is used. And unfortunately, it's on weekends from Friday to Monday morning on a lot of these homes, and the usage is tremendous. They start using 2,000 gallons a week, and you're up to 8,000 gallons in a month. So we plan to explore conservation pamphleting information to be disseminated among our homeowners of all types, whether you own investment property or whether you live there full time, and try to get a handle and make people aware that this is not just something that costs money. This is a resource that we all rely on, and to see it being wasted is really troubles me. I think it troubles everybody on the board, and that's why we set these rates the way they are.
Is that taken into consideration when you're giving new building permits for new homes? Since the water is an issue, it may be limiting the number of new homes that we get up there.
No, we don't have a cap on new homes. We've never set a cap for the future.
But as the water seems to have a cap.
Well, if you look at just Beach Mountain, if you want an answer to that question.
What is that?
Well, their biggest hindrance right now in development is water. And they've gotten grants, heavy grants for it. And they have some ideas, but, water rates. The other thing I really, we're building a water system very unlike a lot of the surrounding, we're like Beach, we're like Sugar, we're like sometimes like Bannerell. But we're not like Boone, we're not like residential areas. We're building a water system on the side of a mountain that moves. And that's tough. And if you add up all the roads and the acreage that the town of Seven Devils is in and compare the number of water taps, which is about 580 now, close to 580 on all of that acreage, and compare that to a vicinity with neighborhoods that are concentrated, their return per acre is huge compared to what we get. We have to run the same amount of pipe, the same amount of everything, and yet we have fewer users to pay for it. So that needs to be something to keep in mind when you're looking at comparisons.
So when the TVA gets a tax, that makes it on the Airbnbs, which seems to be where a lot of this is being used, right?
Probably, yeah.
So besides the fact that, why doesn't that money go right directly to Seven Devils?
You can't use that for infrastructure. That's the problem. You can't use the bulk of that money for water infrastructure.
Any of it.
Who said? Who made that?
I'll be happy to explain. Let's say,
Yeah,
let's
let's
finish
not-
the public hearing, and I'll be glad to explain that once we recess.
Okay. Seeing there's no more comments, I need a motion to close the public hearing.
Recess.
We're going to recess, and we need to pick a date.
Oh, yes, I'm sorry, recess. Move.
Wait, no, let's get a date. Yeah.
Yeah,
Okay.
motion to reconvene, June 28th at 10 a.m.
At town hall.
at Town Hall. Yes.
I'll second it.
Larry, why don't you say that officially?
Okay, I'll make a motion to resume this meeting out of recess, June 28th at Town Hall at 10 a.m.
I need a first and a second. So moved. First and second.
All those in favor?
Thank you.
Motion for recess?
Second?
We are.
Okay.
Well, this is the recess between the public hearing and the meeting. This is the 5 minutes.
This is bad. Well, I wasn't approved, huh? But don't want it. Every time he pulls those. We will recess for 5 minutes, and we'll start the town council meeting as scheduled at 5:30.